this, though. I'll tell you this, right? We're 2 games into this thing, right? We enjoyed tonight, but we're coming back to work. We got a division game next week. Say that game next week. All right, so keep working, keep preparing the right way, and we don't let up. We're on a mission this year, fellas. One day at a time, though. One day at a time, we get it done. Hell of a team win.
That was a jubilant Indianapolis Colts locker room after the team's 29-28 win over the Denver Broncos at home at Lucas Oil Stadium yesterday. And you know what? Sometimes you're a decent team and you don't play your best, and you come out a win with a little bit of help from your friends in Denver. That's exactly what happened to the Indianapolis Colts this week. Now, they did not play a bad ball game, especially in offense. They're very good on offense. Daniel Jones, very efficient again today, showed some playmaking ability with some of those receivers in that offense. Obviously, Jonathan Taylor was very, very good. The real concerns for the Colts, and I'll talk about this a little bit later, come in the red zone, a lot of field goals, but hey, you know what? They're still moving the ball great. This was a good defense for Denver. We heard about it all week, and the Colts were still able to pretty much move the ball at will, and it was just really getting down to the nitty-gritty, getting those details down in the red zone that the Colts really need to work on. But, you know, and then they got some help. Denver missed a late field goal, and then when the Colts went downfield and got into field goal range for a game winner, I'll talk about that a little bit too, they missed. Spencer Shrader was wide right on his kick, but there was a flag on the play. And, you know, you're scrambling. You're trying to think what it was, and it was a leverage penalty against the Denver Broncos. It's a call that's going to be talked about probably all week for a lot of people, especially those in Denver and here in Indianapolis as well. The Colts were the beneficiaries of the call, and it was by the book the correct call. It does look like a Denver player did try to use a Colts player's body to vault over them to try to block the kick, and that is why they blew the flag. And really, it reminded me of the 2003 game that the Colts won on Monday Night Football against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. There was a big comeback in the fourth quarter under Peyton Manning, and then the Colts got into overtime. Mike Vanderjagt missed the game-winning kick, but there was a leaping penalty called against the Buccaneers, same type of penalty, and then Vanderjagt lined it up and got a second chance to hit the kick, and didn't exactly nail it, but he did hit it, and so that's how the Colts won that game. Very similar circumstances here. The Colts missed one. Shrader missed it. It was, again, wide right, and then, you know, you had the penalty, and so the Colts got another chance at it, and he nailed it from 45 yards because of the field goal kick, and that was the 29-28 win. And I'll tell you, I do have some concerns about the play calling on the last drive. I thought the Colts were setting up because they ran several run plays. And, of course, you would do that. You want to try to turn the clock down. And Steichen said his whole goal was to try to drain the clock. They didn't want to have a kickoff. If the Colts, you know, hit the kick, they just wanted that to be the end of the game. And I totally understand that. But also, I just felt like, you know, they had a 58-yard field goal. And then they sent Jonathan Taylor up the middle. He got dropped for a 2-yard loss. Suddenly that becomes a 60-yard field goal. I really thought they were setting up a hard play action pass, something across the middle to Josh Downs or Tyler Warren, something along those lines that would have picked up another, you know, 5 to 10 yards. And I understand you don't want to put the ball in jeopardy, but just kind of settling for a 60-yard field goal from a kicker who's really not, you know, proven his salt yet in the NFL struck me as a little bit odd. But at the end of the day, you know what? It doesn't matter. They got the win. The Colts are 2-0 since the 2009 season. They, of course, started that season like wildfire, ended up going to the Super Bowl, losing that one to the Saints, whose coach was Sean Payton, who is the coach of the Denver Broncos. So kind of weird how sometimes things like that happen. But when you go down to it, it doesn't even matter the results of the Monday night game for the Texans because the Texans lost last week. So right now in week 2, Indianapolis Colts alone at the top of the AFC South standings. Let's listen in to Coach Shane Steichen.
I'll open up. Great, gutsy, gritty team win. Talked to those guys at halftime in the locker room. Hey, this second half, we got to go win it in the fourth quarter. And got the takeaway by Cam. I thought, you know, the offensive line gave Daniel protection. Obviously going for over 300 yards there. JT ran hard on the ground. Great performance, some things to clean up. But to get 2 back-to-back wins at home in front of our home crowd. The atmosphere out there was electric. Crowd showed up. It was awesome. We got to go do it again every week. So we got a division game coming up, but great win for our team today. Yeah, well, we were in field goal range there, felt good about it, and then on that 3rd down, obviously we went backwards there on that one. But yeah, I mean, that's football sometimes. Obviously, yeah, we got the penalty that helped us out and found a way to win it there. Yeah, because, I don't want to get into it, but yes. Yeah, I don't want any time left on that clock. I thought he was efficient, taking his reads, going through his progressions. The ball placement was good again. I don't know what he completed. What was he today? 25 of 34, 107 QB rating, 1 touchdown. Like I said, I think the O-line did a hell of a job. I thought all the receivers did a nice job. Tyler Warren did a nice job. It was just efficient all around. Yeah, just I guess I'll get into it. Whatever is the kickoff there at the end, you know what I mean? You don't want to let them get a return there. That's why. And then obviously you kick it out. I mean, obviously we saw a situation that happened already in the league with it. So.
Shane, you're kind of out of breath. What was it like in that locker room? What are the emotions that are going through your head right now?
It's electric in there right now. Obviously, to win a game like that, Spence did a hell of a job. Obviously finishing it there with the kick. Like I said, we want to be in great physical shape coming into this season and create an edge and win games in 4th quarter. And we found a way to do it. And credit to the guys in that locker room, credit to every coach, the coordinators, the assistant coaches, the training room, everybody. It was just a huge win to get one at home again. It's discipline and laser focus going into it again next week. But in the 4th quarter like that, it's focus on, the controllable things that you can control. Obviously, we had a lot of penalties in that game that we got to eliminate that could have hurt us, obviously, there. So we got to get that cleaned up. That'll be addressed tomorrow in the team meeting. But, yeah, we got to stay disciplined. I just came off the bench, and I was upset, and that was part of it, and I got to be smarter.
Is this a different performance for Ben? Because last week you were today, it's a different sort of
Yeah.
scenario today. It's nip and tuck behind, more contested throws.
Yeah, tighter coverage, obviously. These guys match a lot of things up. They got good cover guys, and they bring pressure and stuff. But, again, he was just battling back and forth like crazy. It was a back-and-forth game. And, obviously, at the end, when we needed it, we came up, and JT hit some big runs there at the end. It was just a great performance by everybody.
Do you learn more about the quarterback in a game like that?
Yeah, absolutely. You got to go win a game there, and you go down and get us in field goal range like that to go win it. But I thought he was good all around, all day, doing everything, taking the checkdowns when they were there, had some shots up, hit one to Alec, obviously, a big play there. But I thought it was efficient overall.
How big was the Byron reception kind of jump for
Oh, yeah, that was huge. That's a big momentum swing. We can get the takeaways like that. Hell of a play by him. I thought he didn't get touched at first from the sideline. I'm like, get up and go. What do we? And they're like, no, he's touched. I'm like, all right, we're good. But it was a hell of a play by him. Obviously, he brings great energy every single day to the practice field on game day, and he works his tail off. He's out doing extra all the time, jugs, machine, you name it. And obviously, he's got 2 picks already this season, so it's big.
In some big moments in this game, kind of got after Surtain a little bit. Pierce at that one on 3rd down there. Just what does it say about the competitiveness of that receiver?
Yeah, it was huge. That was, one of the things we talked about this week. We know he's a hell of a football player, and when we get one-on-one matchups with him, we got to win them, when we get our opportunity. And I thought Pitt had a good one against them as well, too. I got a ton of respect for him. He's one of the best, if not the best in the league right now. So a ton of respect there, but I thought our guys stepped up to the challenge for sure.
Spencer's perfect through 2 games, and he started 2 games. What have you seen of him and just the growth over the summer?
I think he has a calmness about him. You know what I mean? I really do. So he's just got a happy-go-lucky guy. Nothing really phases him. Even in that situation, you could tell he was calm, cool, collective when he got a second opportunity there. But it was awesome to see.
Couple more.
What do you see the offensive play? You guys have kind of sputtered a little bit in the red zone so far.
Yeah.
What have been the problems there?
Well, we got to look at it. We got to go back and look at some things. They brought some pressures there a little bit. But, yeah, we got to get some of that stuff cleaned up. Obviously, we're scoring points, but we got to score. Those are 4-point plays. So that starts with myself, and we got to be better there.
And that was Indianapolis head coach Shane Steichen talking about the Colts and their 29-28 win over the Denver Broncos at Lucas Oil Stadium. And, really, offensively, you can tell this thing with Daniel Jones, this quarterback competition, this decision to make him the starter, paying dividends, because I think for the first time, and this is Steichen's third year as the head coach for the Colts, for the first time, I think we're seeing the vision of what he wants this offense to be. And that offense can make big plays. We had 3 40-plus yard pass receptions, and 2 of them came kind of run after catch with Tyler Warren and Jonathan Taylor, and one of them came, on a deep downfield pass to Alec Pierce that was thrown pretty well by Jones. He missed a couple other ones deep, but you're gonna take deep shots, and sometimes you're gonna hit them, and sometimes you're not going to. But the fact of the matter is, near 68% of his passes completed again this week. Jones just looks comfortable in the pocket. He looks under control out there. And it is just really a nice thing to see if you're an Indianapolis Colts fan. He had his first 300-yard game, I believe, since the 2023 season. It's his first as a Colt. 300-yard games, not out of the possibility for the Colts. They have had a few in the past few years. Joe Flacco had a couple. Gardner Minshew put up some when he was here the year that he played quarterback in 2023. So, this has been just something that if you're a Colts fan, you've got to be happy with what you've seen from Daniel Jones. Complete control over the offense, good cadence, able to kind of direct traffic, get his team into the right play, making good checks at the line of scrimmage. All the things that, Steichen mentioned in making the decision this offseason on the quarterback and naming Daniel Jones the starter. And he's kind of a reclamation project, I think, in the eyes of many people. But, he's shown the ability to make plays. He's got good pocket presence. For the most part, the Colts offensive line was pretty good in this game. You could feel the pressure getting to Jones in the second half a little bit more, caused a couple of inaccurate throws. A fourth down one especially sticks to mind. He was trying to get the ball to Tyler Warren, but just didn't have that extra split second to make an accurate throw. But really, for the most part, Daniel Jones has been a real asset to the Indianapolis Colts. And just to run through the numbers for him real quick from the box score, 23 of 34 for 316 yards and a touchdown. He was sacked one time. Pretty much Denver was able to harass him, but they really only got him one time. They got a good clean shot at him on one of their blitzes. But overall, just a really good game from Daniel Jones. And like I said, 2-0. He's looked sharp. He's completing a high percentage of his passes, and you really can't argue so far with the result. But far be it from me to say anything about Daniel Jones. Let's listen to the quarterback himself.
I don't know about quite like that. But, yeah, it was an exciting big-time kick there by Spence, and good job by the guys up front. We got it down in there. Alec ran a big-time route on the shallow, created some separation, and then, big-time kick. They played tight coverage today. I mean, you guys challenged them and won a lot of those matchups. What allowed you guys to have that success? We got a lot of confidence in our guys and our guys to win in a lot of those matchups, and they did. It's a good secondary. We talked throughout the week. It's a good secondary. It's a good front. It's a good defense. We were confident with our guys going in that we'd stack up well. I think in a game like that, you're going to have some good, some bad, but you kind of just keep going, play the next play, and we won a lot of those situations today, and it was good to see.
How long has it been since you felt this comfortable?
I don't know. I think I don't know how much time I've spent comparing it to, times in the past or different situations I've been in, but I feel confident and there's a great energy about our team, I think, about our offense, about our group. I think we're executing at a high level. I think there's still things we need to do better. I think, you look at some of the red zone stuff today and, things we can sharpen up down there, things I can sharpen up for sure. I think collectively as a group, we're confident about what we can be, and we know that we're still growing and developing.
What do you think have been some of the issues in the red zone?
Well, I mean, I think a number of things. A lot of that is, on me. I gotta hit the open guy when we have an open guy. Got to recognize certain looks and pressures and make sure we're in the right play. You only get so many shots at it down there, and you got to convert when you have them. So, I think it's been a number of things, but I know I can do a better job.
Dan, did you all think you had lost the game? And I guess how quickly do you have to kind of recalibrate, like, oh, wait a second, there's a penalty, there's a chance for us?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I guess you saw him miss the kick, so it's like, yeah, for a second you're like, we didn't win, but pretty quickly everyone was saying it was on them. So you go back to that, but I mean, I don't know. Yeah, I guess once the penalty's on them, game's still good, and we have a lot of confidence in the Spence.
This is the first time the Colts have been 2-0 since 2009. What does a start like this do for a team's confidence moving forward?
Yeah, I think it does a lot for our confidence, for sure. I think we've had that, internally as a group. I think we felt, throughout training camp, through kind of last week and beginning of the season, we felt like we're a good offense, can play with anybody, and we gotta keep building on it. I think, last week we played well, but we were right back to work. After that, and had a good week of practice. I think we'll have the same mindset this week. We know there's things to clean up and tighten up if we're going to be the group we're capable of being.
Well, I mean, I think I know what you'll say, but there were some doubts, but let's be honest, man. You don't know how this is going to play out. Tight quarterback competition. Is there any sort of rewarding feeling for what you've been able to do for the first 2 weeks?
I don't know. I mean, maybe a little bit for sure. I think, like I've said, I think you try to block it out. You don't seek it out, but you know what people are saying, and you know what the narrative is in a lot of situations. A little bit of that, but I think I've realized, and I think I said this last week. I've played a few years now, and 1 game, 2 games, don't make a season. It's a long season, and you got to be able to sustain that. So, I think for me personally, that's got to be the mindset, and I think for our group, that's got to be the mindset.
Shane was using words like gutsy win, gritty win. What characteristics do you think the team needs, just in general, to come back in the fourth quarter like you guys did today?
Yeah, I think it takes a lot of mental toughness, competitive stamina to be able to hang in there and kind of go back and forth, keep battling. Like I said earlier, there was a lot of good, but there was some stuff we didn't do well too, and it's being able to bounce back from those situations and handle the next play, be ready for what's next. And I thought as a group we did that.
How does the environment put you all in position to get that win? I know we talked about the kick at the end, but the pick set you all up for the game.
Yeah, pick was huge for sure. That was huge play in the game, and it's his second one now. He's a good player for sure, smart player, and huge player there at the end.
You guys have won in 2 completely different ways. Going through the kind of adversity of a win like today, what does that do for you guys, like the camaraderie of the team, having kind of those shared experiences that are coming out on the end?
I mean, I think going through that and kind of knowing, this is the NFL. Most games are like that, and you're going to be battling. It's going to be a 1-score game. It's going to come down to the fourth quarter, 1 or 2 drives, and or do you convert or do you not? And I think, proving to each other that we can do that and perform in those situations is critical for us down the road.
JT had over 200 yards today. How special was it to watch what he was able to do against the offense?
Yeah, it was great. I mean, he did a tremendous job. Made some big plays in the pass game, and then ran the crap out of the ball. He did a really good job, like he always does, and was huge for us. And the guys up front played well, against a good front.
And that was Daniel Jones talking about the Colts and their win over the Denver Broncos. Again, a 300-yard game for Jones. He had one touchdown passing, and that one went to Jonathan Taylor, actually. And then he also had another quarterback sneak run that went for a touchdown. And that's been a thing that has really helped the Colts too. I think at the goal line, I think envisioned that goal line offense would probably include a little bit of Tyler Warren and some Jonathan Taylor and some. Now we know that really if you get that ball within the 1 yard line there near the goal line, probably going to be a sneak from Daniel Jones. But really, the fuel of this offense is Jonathan Taylor. And Taylor had himself a really nice day, 100 yards from the ground, 165 total, long run of 68, where a defender just did get a good angle on him as he was on the sideline, so he couldn't quite get into the end zone. Big moment there for Denver, because if the Colts could have punched in there, it would have been a much different ending to the game probably. But JT showed that big playability. He also had a 43-yard catch out of the passing game and a touchdown catch as well. So really just really a great game. I shouldn't call it a nice game. It was really a great game from Jonathan Taylor, who showed some improvement in receiving and also in pass protection for him. And then, of course, running the ball. And when it comes to Taylor, those runs are, couple yards here, couple yards there. Then suddenly it goes for 5 yards. Then that turns into a 7-yard run. And then it's a 9-yard run. And then, boom, he hits the hole and breaks and just runs past all of the defense. So that's exactly what you wanted to see from Jonathan Taylor, and he had a really just a standout performance for the Indianapolis Colts. From a receiving standpoint, Tyler Warren, 4 catches for 79 yards, very, very similar to his performance last week. For Indianapolis, 4 receptions for 68 yards for Alec Pierce, 6 receptions for Josh Downs, and it was just for 51 yards, but he made some key catches. That guy is just shifty in the slot. You'd love to have it there. Jonathan Taylor, 2 catches for 50 yards. Pittman, 4 catches for 40. Adonai Mitchell, a couple catches for 20 yards. And really, finally, we're starting to see he even got open, well, kind of open on a long one. I think he probably got interfered with that one. But starting to see some playmaking ability from Mitchell, which we all knew was there, right? But we're finally starting to see some of those completions come into play for the Colts. Also want to mention Spencer Shrader had a nice game for Indianapolis, hit all of his field goals, and he's perfect on the season with a little bit of an asterisk, but he was 5 of 5 from field goal range. Along with 45 there, the game winner, hit a couple extra points. So he has not missed a kick so far in 2 games this season. Great for him to have the second chance, cash in on it, get the game-winning field goal after missing what would have been the game winner, and kind of getting bailed out with a penalty. And I don't think there's any way to get around it to say anything more than the Colts were bailed out a little bit, bailed out a lot by the penalty there at the end of the game, because it gave them a second chance to get the win. And the first one was not good. He just kind of pushed off to the right side, just didn't look good from the go. But the second chance he got right down the middle, and start the celebration there in Indianapolis. So again, 2-0 for the Colts. 29-28 is your final score there against the Denver Broncos. Probably the biggest concern compared to last week, and I know been a lot of talk, maybe the Dolphins just aren't very good and all of that, but man, they just defensively, it was a rough game for the Colts. I know Latu was out. I know Charvarius Ward wasn't in there, but it was rough. I mean, Bo Nix had pretty much all day to throw throughout the entirety of the game. They got very little pressure on him throughout the course of the entire game. And then, you have a little bit of a patchwork secondary out there, just kind of based on some injuries to Jalen Jones and Ward and those types of things. And they seem to have been very, at least Lou Anarumo, very big on Xavier Howard, and he had a really rough game. 3 penalties, I think, in the span of 5 plays, something along those lines. I do think one of them was questionable. I don't think that was a catchable ball, maybe on the first one that he got called for. He did maybe twist the receiver around a little bit, but it wasn't nearly as egregious. The last 2, one was a bear hug, and the other was a fistful of jersey from a guy trying to jump for a football, and those are penalties. There's just no way around it. I know Steichen just blew his top. I think it was on the first one, because that ended up being should have been a punt for Denver or field goal attempt. I can't remember exactly where they were in field in range for that, but should have definitely not have ended up in a touchdown and a first down conversion, and that's what happened. And so Steichen picked up an unsportsmanlike conduct penalty because he kind of threw his helmet, his headset off and all that stuff. So we see Steichen intense on the sidelines, but we don't usually see him quite like that. So he was extremely agitated. We'll just put it that way. So the Colts have got some stuff they've got to clean up. They did allow a fair amount of rushing yards in this game. Let's see. It really wasn't the yards. It was 118 yards overall, but it was really the 4.9 yards per carry. They just seemed to have, not been able to clamp down on that yet. Still early in the season, but we saw a lot of problems with the rush defense last year. You don't want to see a repeat of that this year. And then the red zone, defensively, you would like to see them, stop Denver a few of those times. Hold to a field goal just one of those times instead of a touchdown. And again, you have a different game in the end. But Denver was 3 of 3 from the red zone. The Colts were just 2 of 6. So just some inefficiency there in the red zone. I think that's probably my biggest. If you're going to make a knock on the offense, I mean, they move the ball at will. They've scored a lot of points so far this year. I think more than any we thought that we would see. And they look like if they're able to do it against Denver, I think they're going to be able to do it against anyone. They even went after Pat Surtain II a couple of times, and that guy is a tremendous cornerback, and they were still able to make some plays against the Denver Broncos and their defense here. So I think the Colts got some things to clean up, but, at the end of the day, you have a quarterback who, hit like 9.3 yards per attempt again, threw for over 300 yards, looks in complete command, distributes the ball to a lot of different players. And so on the offensive side, I think it's safe to say for now we're in pretty good shape. Defensively, the Colts definitely have some things to clean up, but they'll have their first road test of the year. It will come against a divisional opponent. That'll be the Tennessee Titans. They've got a rookie quarterback. They have not looked particularly great in their first couple of games. So maybe the Colts get a little healthier this week on the defensive side of the ball, maybe clamp down a little bit, maybe get some pressure on the quarterback. Cam Ward, I think, got sacked 6 times in the first game that he played this season. I think he had 5 more sacks against the Rams. So, there is some hesitation, some holding onto the ball a little bit too long, that sort of thing. So hopefully the Colts can, exploit that a little bit. But we will have plenty more to talk about on the Colts Blue Zone podcast when we kind of do our regular weekly edition previewing the game against the Titans. We'll have reactions from the game from Dave Griffiths and Mike Chappell, my colleagues on the Colts Blue Zone podcast. But for now, I'm Matt Adams, and thank you for listening.